Hi everybody, thanks for joining Create with Dee. Well, by now you've probably seen all over the internet projects made using the Scalloped Tag Topper Punch as well as the Angle Tag Punch. Today I wanted to show you another way that you can use your tag punch other than making these cute tags. These were given to me by my upline. And that is to make this really interesting card that I've got a sample of it here. That has the tag punch, the scallop tag punch elements on it. And let me share with you how I got this element. I did get this idea from another demonstrator. So let's get started making this different card base. So the first thing I want to do is take my card base. This happens to be a typical card base of 5.5 by 8.5. And because when these come folded together, I do want them to match up, I need it to be punched the same distance on either side of the end that we're matching up. So I'm going to go ahead and center this on my grid paper so that I have the 5.5 side lined up either way, which from the 0 is 2 3/8. So once I have it lined up, the 0 will be the center. And you'll want to take a pencil. I'm going to use a pen so that it shows up on this one. And then flip it around and do the same thing on the other end, which I've already done. So now I've got my mark so that when I punch on either end, again, they're going to match up. So now I'm going to take the scallop punch and flip it over. And, I'll feed it in. There we go. And now that dot that we made, our little marker, that's going to be where we're going to center it on the top part of the scallop tag. So you just kind of eyeball it. It will have a little line. It won't push all the way up. And that's what it looks like from that side. So line it up with your mark and punch. We'll go ahead and take it out and you'll get something that looks like this. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. So again, kind of shimmy it in the punch, line it up with the top of the scallop bridge, and punch. Okay, so now we have something that looks like this, and let's go get our paper trimmer. Okay, so now we have our our punched out cardstock. And we want to take it to our paper trimmer and line up where these notches are at here, where it's punched it out on either side to the cut line on our Stampin' Trimmer. And we're going to cut up until, you kind of feel this little notch here. So we're cutting on either side of the scallop. And actually it's easier to come up from either side and then you can hear it stop. So then when you take away those, you get the closing mechanism. Turn around and we'll do that one more time together. So I'll line up the other side. And again, you can kind of feel it when it hits that groove. And again, I like coming from either direction and meeting it in the center. Voila! Okay, so now it's time to take this to either the simply scored. I find that a little easier to do than this, but you could so use the scoring thing on your trimmer too. But let's get the scoring. So we're going to make 2 scores, one to make the little tab here fold over, and then one to make the traditional card base. So what I like to do is to first kind of get this lined up on a groove. Get it on a flat surface here. So if you need to move yours around a little bit, you can go ahead and do so. And let's see, put that up a little bit. And again, just kind of follow that groove. And now this is ready to fold over. And then what I like to do is turn it around this way. And I want it to be a standard card base of 4 1/4. So I want this section here to be 4 1/4 and scored. So again, I've got this tab folded up in the corner and then scored at 4 1/4. And so now what we have, and there's my little dot. So now we have this cute card base that we've made using the Scalloped Tag Topper. And with using that trick of placement, I know that it's going to match up perfectly. You could do the same thing with this if you moved it, if you wanted to have this down, maybe to come up 1 inch, you would mark it from 1 inch from the bottom both ways, however you would like it. But that's our little base. Now it's just a matter of decorating. So just to put a card together for you, here's one that I've done that's got some of the new elements from the Occasions catalog. We'll talk about that here in just a little bit. But for this one, I'm kind of using the Watercolor Wonder paper and doing some watercoloring, or I've done some, and we'll go ahead and put this card together just so you can see how cute they are. For the inside of the card, I used the Vivid Vases on Whisper White, stamped it with Stays On, and then, you just use my aqua painter to do it. If you can use Whisper White if you have a light touch with your watercoloring so that it doesn't get too saturated. And the sizes of this is the Island Indigo is cut at, let's see here, 5 3/8 by 4 1/8, and then the Whisper White is 4 by 5 1/4. So I wanted to have a little frame around it, or I should say a matting around my watercoloring, just to give that a cute other little element here. Put that in. Love it, love it, love it. And now I have some Island Indigo ruffled ribbon. And for this, I would like it to, let's see here. I think I would like this to go all the way around. On this, sorry, excuse me for a second. This example, I just tied those two together. And on this one, I want to wrap the ribbon all the way around, just for another little look. So I'll get that here on first, before I put my layering piece. I want it underneath of it. Get all the twisties out. And then for this piece, I've got, again, Island Indigo, and it's cut at 2 1/2 by 5 3/8, and then the Watercolor Wonder designer paper is cut at 2 3/8 by 5 1/4. I'll have all of that written up there. I know I'm kind of talking fast. Just using some snail adhesive and maybe just a little bit of snail to keep that in place so it doesn't wiggle on me. There we go. And put our panel over the top. Okay, and now I've got some elements. These are from the Flower Shop and Pansy bundle. So the larger flowers are from that, and the smaller flowers are from the new Petite Petals stamp set, as well as the Petite Petal Punch. Again, another bundle. Don't you just love the bundles? I'm going to go ahead and tie this up here first so that I can see where I need to place my elements. Alright, so I've got that tied, and I've got it tied this way so that you could kind of see two things. I used the leaf from the bird punch and did a little accent to the flowers. I layered those, stamped and then punched petals together. Used one of the little candy brads for, I guess, a little interest here. And let's see. So I just picked up the colors that were in, that were in the designer paper to have it all nice and coordinated. I did sponge dab each of the flowers around to try to get that watercolor a little softer look to it. Of course, I've got my Stampin' Dimensionals on here. And just kind of, add some other interest to the card. How cute is that? So then when they open it up, they have that nice little sentiment, and there we go. So a couple of different ways that you can use this technique, and another use for our scalloped trim punch. So check out my blog. I'll have the details there on all of the elements that were made for these cards, and you can see some of the pictures in a little more close up. Thanks for watching, everybody, and happy crafting. Bye-bye.